My name is Greg Zeschuk, and I am from BiBa.
So people know you by some of the games you might have made from BioWare. Let's talk a little about how you ended up going from there to the playground, literally.
Sure. Well, I actually retired from BioWare about 2 years ago. I spent almost 20 years in the business and decided it was time for a break. During that time, I started getting involved with a company called Zeros to Heroes of Vancouver. That was kind of like an idea technology company. And what we would do is we'd spin out ideas from time to time and commercialize them. And that's what BiBa is. It's an idea that we thought would make a great new company, new business.
How did your background in video games help with something like this?
Well, certainly, one big factor, there's inherent game to it, in the sense that we're creating games for kids, very simple little mini games for kids to play to try and get them outside into the park. So, having made games for 20 years, I have some knowledge, still limited about how to make video games.
And for those 20 years, it was all about keeping people inside and playing. Talk a little about this concept of getting people outside and getting kids active.
Yeah, so there's actually a complete reversal for me, especially being at BioWare, where we made games you had to sit on your butt for hundreds of hours. What we really want to do, and I think it's just a wonderful thing to actually use gaming technology, incentivize kids through sort of narrative and also let them have an imaginative play outside. So we let them literally take a role, have fun, play in the playground, give them tasks to do. A parent holds the phone or the device, so it's a refereed play, so you don't have to worry about the kids busting phones. So just really getting kids out, getting them playing, and using video games for good, for activity and getting out in the sun.
Can you talk about how it works? I know it's not out yet, but in the future, how it would work?
Yeah, so right now, there's a long-term goal of integrating all these great technologies. We're at GDC, there's VR, there's AR, that's down the road. We're basically, right now what you do, you can take your phone, scan a special QR AR sticker on playground equipment, it'll populate what's there, then it'll create games out of what's available. So you can create games, then the parent will hold the phone and send the kid off, say, hey, get ready, now do this, and they go run off and do their thing, and then they come back and have an activity with the parent and the phone, kind of refereed play where they play together, and they do that until the game's over, and then they get some kind of prize at the end, and the narrative is the robots. These are the playgrounds of the broken ships of the robots, and you're trying to help them get back into space. You're building stuff or creating things and helping them get back off. So kind of a bit of the classic narrative stuff along with some really simple games and just getting kids active.
How has mobile opened up opportunities like this, especially since it seems like kids are 4 or 5 years old and getting smartphones and tablets these days?
Well, we're in a world now where, quite literally, and this is a really interesting and slightly scary concept, where there's literally a concept called digital natives. Kids that have grown up never not knowing digital technology, kids that were like sub 1 years old, like swiping on phones and devices. It's kind of amazing that's really upon us. Those are the kids that are growing up now. And so it's kind of intuitive to think, well, why don't we try and harness some of those technologies to get them back into the real world, get them back into playing in regular stuff, not trying to stay home and sit on phones all the time.
And these are essentially mini games that people would be unlocking as things go through.
Yeah, exactly. There's sort of a mini game. It's almost like an activity. I think the idea is they kind of put the kids into this role, and it's imaginative, and so they have this imaginative play, and the games kind of reinforce that. So if it's a treasure hunting game, you may find the treasure, but then you have to do something on the phone to unlock the box, right? And then it sends you to another part of the playground. You have to run around and do stuff, and then you have to do something else on the phone to access the treasure, or use the phone to wipe off the sand off the hieroglyphics. So it's ways of having straightforward, simple, very intuitive gaming that young kids can play, but all outside, all doing things.
Are you actively going to be part of the development process in any way?
I'm development process active in the sense that I'm kind of reviewing it and providing feedback. And even at BioWare back in the day, I wasn't actually making stuff. I was kind of overseeing things. I'm involved, with the management of the company and actually looking at the products and giving feedback. So I'm definitely not writing any code, but I am actually in there trying to provide some advice when I can. I think the team really has it nailed, though. They have a very scientific and clever approach to how they're doing it, so I think it works out really well.
Best case scenario, when would kids be able to start seeing this?
I think we'd like to see it probably within the year. We've actually partnered with a company called Playpower, who's one of the largest playground manufacturing, design, installation companies in the world. And so we're partnering with them to see if we can get it into playgrounds that they've built, and also putting kits out there that can upgrade existing playgrounds as well. So it's a pretty exciting to have a partner like that can help us get out there fast.
Since there are playgrounds built into lots of schools, would there be even an educational video game component that could be applied at some point? That's
actually an interesting question. I think one of the things that we hadn't yet thought about, a couple people mentioned it at the show, has been okay, is there an educational component? Probably, but I think we haven't really put that much thought into it. It's something that maybe down the road we can figure that one out. Right now we're just trying to get it out there and sort of see where it goes.